We just sold most of what we own in our big moving sales. So, what is left? What are we going to do with it? What does it realistically look like after the sale ends? And there's tables everywhere, there's stuff left. What do you do with it? I want to share what we're doing with it, what it looks like, and walk you through the aftermath of our big 3-day sale. So, to start off, I wanted to show you a little bit of what we started with. This is what we had at the sale. You can see all the tables are stuffed full. There's stuff shoved underneath virtually every single table in both sides of our garage and our workshop. So this workshop is completely stuffed full of clothing and decor, some furniture, a bunch of games along the back wall there, tools. Outside was all the way up our driveway, all the way going back to where that yellow slide was. The first day was full of tools and lawnmowers and four-wheelers, stuff, all kinds of stuff. So then this was the next day when I actually went back through, and now the sale is over and I want to show you what is left. If you do a big sale like this, I highly encourage you to go through and record or take pictures of things as you, like at the beginning and the end of each day, because you think you'll remember what was there, and stuff keeps selling, and yet somehow you don't remember what was there and what wasn't there. So this was going up our driveway here. We had the wood. We had so much nice wood, and I wish I could have had more bandwidth to figure out how to properly get that sold, because a lot of this, if you plane it down, was a really good mahogany and nice boat wood, as well as this giant table that I love so much that my husband handmade. We were going to build this big outbuilding and put this giant farmhouse table. It's made from all like old growth wood and biscuit joined all the pieces together. And I'm still holding out hope that we can find a buyer for this. I just love it so much. It doesn't have the base on yet, but I think there's probably a woodworker out there who would love this. Some of this leftover wood and wood pieces that wasn't as valuable, I literally just put on the trailer and we had a big bonfire. Normal life, I would have tried harder to see if anyone else wanted it. I didn't have it in me. We were so done and we're so tired, and knowing we're leaving, we just had to kind of deal with it. We had a couple really nice vacuum cleaners left that I'm going to donate. They work great, had extra bags, everything. Paints. Some of this I might set out for free because I'm hoping some of our neighbors would still utilize it. That insect fogger and this hedger I put on Marketplace. The plane, I don't know what we're going to do. The same with the shop vac. I am at a loss. A lot of the metal pieces I started combining. My husband has access to like a steel dumpster where it'll get recycled, and so we're going to put what we can in that. But there wasn't much left of that kind of stuff, so I'm really grateful. That's like a transmitter or receiver. I have no idea what we're going to do with that yet. I'm hoping we can, once our brains start working fully again, we can figure out a good way to market that and get that to someone. Same with these cords. Right now I have them just sitting for the trash. I don't know. The fireplace tools I'm going to put for free at the end of the driveway or put them on Marketplace. They do sell for a decent amount on eBay if I wanted to take the time and clean them up. And I thought about that, but I'm not sure. So this was a section that I just had stuck over here, and I decided the fan worked great, just doesn't spin anymore, but it works stationary. The chandelier I have right now on Marketplace. Otherwise, I'm going to put for free at the end of the driveway. That big blanket back there, we're going to take with us camping, and then we'll get rid of it at the end of the summer. It'll just add a little more comfort to the camping situation. Those bins are all stuff that we donated. The same with these bins. I realized a couple of the donation places wouldn't take open topped things, so I had to put them into different boxes. And the only thing I did go back through and grab is a couple of those books. I really realized that this summer when we're camping, my goal is to kind of unplug and just do a lot of reading. So I'm going to take those with me. This also is all stuff that's going to be donated. That stuff was donated already. The computer we're going to list on Marketplace or Craigslist. The saw has been listed on Marketplace. So in here you can just see, I got the clothes out already in the bins, but you can still see how empty everything is. That wreath is in the donate pile. So this bench right here goes with that table back there and that other bench that I have sitting on top of the table. I have photographed that and put it to be, it's on Craigslist and Marketplace. I'm hoping someone will take that because it's really solid and a really well-made table. I have the sawhorses on Marketplace. This is a little pile here that I have going to my aunt she had a car with. So we offered to deliver that to her, all of those things. That box right there is empty. So I just hadn't dealt with it yet at this point. Those bins under that tablecloth are empty. This workbench is the one that's sold to my husband's coworker. So actually last night before filming this, I went in and got all the spray paints out of there, cleared that off. I'm going to scrape off some of my paint off the top of that. The clamps are sold. I have this workbench, that white bench listed right now on Marketplace. I loved it. I used it as a shipping table, and it's like standing room height, so I'm hoping I can get someone to notice that and see it. It's so hard with all this furniture because you see the potential for it and you go in Walmart or in somewhere and it's garbage, particle board furniture for hundreds of dollars. And so I'm looking at these pieces like solid oak chairs and really nice stuff that would be so great for someone. This bedding set, we still have the comforter on our bed. So I decided to just hold on to this and wait until we're done with our bed, and we'll put the comforter in there too. I'll wash it and we'll just donate the whole set. This entire set here, this tool chest that my husband built and everything that you see in it was bought by his friend the night before our sale, including the table and everything. So that was fantastic that he'll get to use all that. Yeah, my husband found the plans for that, and I think in a handyman magazine, and has really loved that. Same thing with that tool, or all the clamp set and the holder. These chairs I need to list on Marketplace or put for free. I have not done that yet. That white shelf on the left there, I'm going to put on Marketplace. All of these things back here are all sold. That planer is going to my dad. That was his. He let us use for a few years. Same thing with this air compressor. That's sold. So I think tonight we're gathering up all the stuff that's sold so it's all together in an area so that we can have that person pick it up this weekend. All the tables, some of them we borrowed from our local scout troop, so we're going to bring those back. The saw is sold. The tiller is sold. That shovel is our lone shovel left. These chairs we're going to keep with us so we have them for camping all summer and then give them to our daughter. That table right there, and well, both of those tables actually, I'm going to either post on Marketplace at the end or just put them free at the end of our driveway or ask family if anyone would want them. But that's it. I mean, there's not a ton of stuff left. It's a little bit more manageable once my first thing was the clothes. I just packed immediately into bins. I knew that I didn't want to sit and think about it or have them get dirty. So I immediately got them safe. The stuff that is left here is stuff that's a little bit harder for making decisions and trying to think about. And so that table we ultimately just burned when we had a big fire the other night. It's more worn than it looks. And I've used it in my art studio for years. If you saw our other videos, you saw how this cute little cottage looked before. And so now it is fully empty. Those paintings are built into the ceiling to have kind of a look of a sky. And otherwise, there's just a broom and an air freshener and a couple pictures of the land before in this building back in the 70s that we kept there for the new owner. So there's nothing else in here that I need to deal with other than I'm going to mop the floor and just get it really clean. So that is a relief at least. I love this little building. This little cottage has been just so sweet and so cute. It used to be a peacock coop, and before that that's what our house looked like in the 70s. There's not a lot of trees on the left side of it. And then that is actually the cottage. It used to be like a screened-in porch. So it's been so fun, the full circle that it's had. It was a peacock coop after that, and now we went through and we insulated it all and turned it into a little cottage for us to use. And we would come out here and sit with a fire going on Christmas Eve, and we'd exchange gifts, and it felt like we were up at a cabin. So I always enjoyed this little building. The door and everything was made from local sourced local sourced barn wood. So that's where we're at. You get so tired when you've been going for days and days. And so my advice is, if you have the energy, do a few of the things right away. Pack up the clothes, things that can get ruined if they're left out. And then gift yourself like a day of recovery, and then have a time where you come back and start with dividing into groups. Donate, trash, free, whatever you need to do. I pulled a trailer up of stuff that I'm like, we're just going to start burning this. We happen to live in a place where that's even an option. Many people wouldn't. So if it wasn't an option where I lived, I would have took a picture and posted it on like Free Cycle or Facebook groups for free, because there's many people that would love to come and have the wood. And then I gifted myself a few days, and so I could have the energy to start to figure out what to do. And now I've gone back through and I photographed some of the table sets, some of the other items. I posted a couple things on eBay that didn't sell, like a biscuit joiner and a transmitter thing for a model airplane. Some of that stuff we had in the sale, and we just kind of thought about it and realized this would sell way better on eBay. And if it was small enough to easily ship, we just pulled it out of the sale halfway through and realized that we're just going to do that instead. But the bigger stuff is definitely easier when you can sell it at a sale like that. And then anything that's under $10 or $20 is so much easier to sell at a sale, because people are right there and they can make impulse purchases and they can just buy thing after thing. Even now, trying to have the hedger and a few things on Marketplace, it's really hard to get people to drive out here for one $5 or $10 item. So definitely, if you're having the sale, get everything you can into it, because it's so much harder trying to sell 1 and 2 item things. And it's a total exhausting thing dealing with all of the messages from Marketplace. Is this still available? And then you're waiting in the back and forth. It's a whole thing. And so we try to do that in batches as well. We're on a Thursday night or a Friday night, we'll post a group of things. And that way we know energetically for the next few days, we have to kind of have the mental bandwidth to deal with the questions. But then we're both here too to help load things, or if things sell, just from a safety standpoint. And so I like that technique. And so we're going to do 1 or 2 more rounds of that before we have to be out of this house. And then like today, I packed up that transmitter that was used for the airplane that sold on eBay. And just a few things like that have been really great to sell in that way. So I've really tried to donate to some of the smaller thrift stores that are more local. Some of the things like vacuum cleaners or tools, things like that, I'm going to have to find another location because many of the thrift stores do not take them. My last option would be to check with like a vacuum repair shop or something like that and see if they would want to fix it up and sell it and do what they do. So that's what we found that works for us. And This was a big, gigantic sale. If you're selling everything, go back and watch my past couple videos. I really talk about how I marketed this sale, what I did to get ready for the sale, the signs I used, how far ahead I planned, all sorts of tips that can help you make the most in your big moving sale. We happen to be selling everything to move abroad, but there's so many life situations where this could be helpful for you. Even I look back, and if I was simply needing money and was sick of feeling overwhelmed and wanted more freedom in life, my gosh, the gift that this would give to simply downsize and sell off so many things and start fresh could be so freeing. So for my next video, I'm breaking down exactly what items sold. I'm going to tell you all about the different areas, household goods versus outside, clothing, art, all of that. What sold, exact numbers, so that you can make good choices if you are planning on having a sale and you're wondering what things are people even buying at these sales. That video will be really helpful for that, and hopefully motivating as well. It's such an unknown sometimes when we're going into these decisions. We know that we want some freedom, or that we have too much stuff, that a life situation is happening. Maybe we're moving into an assisted living or moving in with our kids. Whatever it may be, there's all sorts of situations where the tough choices need to be made to get rid of things. And it can be incredibly overwhelming to do that. But it is so freeing. And in a world where we are bombarded all the time with this constant message that we need more and more and newer things, the rebellious side of me feels really good standing up to it and just calling BS. I'm good. I don't need all the stuff. That feels so freeing for me, and I would love for you to have that feeling as well if you're feeling called to that. So I hope these videos have been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.